is the hospice choir. And anybody who thinks, oh, that's a good choir, I'd like to sing with them, that'll be, you'd be more than welcome. Very nice to see you all. You don't have to stand and stare, you can mingle, but we're here to sing for you for, about half an hour. So if you haven't got anything better to do, listen.
Service is for everyone, whatever your journey, for people of all faiths or none. You really are most welcome here. Collectively we share this service to tenderly remember those loved ones who are no longer with us. And we also want to celebrate the time of year and move forward together in hope, reminding you that you have our support with whatever it is that you face. So this time of year is for giving the light of love to those who need it most. And in this spirit we hope to share our light of love with you this evening particularly. Soon we'll welcome in our speakers and enjoy some wonderful music within this lovely setting. So from all of us here, we hope that you really do find comfort and joy in this, our gift to you. For those of you that I haven't met before, I'm Reverend Paula Graham. I'm an ordained interfaith minister and have the privilege of being the pastoral care team coordinator at Saint Francis Hospice. And my heart is really grateful this evening to see all of your faces and feel the lovely atmosphere here in the garden. It really does feel incredibly special to be together tonight, especially as we've had years where we've had to hold these sorts of services remotely. So we hold these heartfelt Light of the Life services to honour and celebrate those we love who very sadly died under the tender care of Saint Francis Hospice, either here on the ward or in the community. We also hold them to support you with the grief that you might be experiencing, particularly at this sentimental time of year, when loss might feel even more difficult. In the depths of winter, it's a time for us to enjoy the lights in the darkness, recognising that the love we feel for those no longer with us is as strong and as vibrant as ever. We become conscious that love is an infinite light that can never be extinguished. It is love that helps us to carry on despite having the tenderness of grief in our hearts. Love is our constant healer, as is humour. Well, perhaps we can sense right now that we're surrounded with love. Love from those no longer with us, perhaps, and how wonderful it is to gather here at the hospice grounds, surrounded with nature, in the presence of these ancient trees behind us, and all the little hibernating plants that appear to be sleeping underneath this beautiful winter sky, all its lovely stars. Well, this hospice was built on a vision of kindness, and the very ground we stand on is imbued with years of compassion, love and prayer. Well, prayer can be many things to many people. It can, of course, be a way of connecting to the God of your own understanding, taking a moment to open your heart and listen to what's there. It could be a meditation on what it is that you're grateful for or you yearn for. It can be a time for allowing healing in, or perhaps just allowing life to be as it is. But most of all, everyone here can find peace in prayer, whatever prayer means to you. So that said, let's begin with a little interfaith prayer, a few words to welcome in the God of our own understanding. Simply connect with the sense of love and inner peace this evening. The divine presence of love. Enfold us in your loving kindness. Hold each of us in peace and grant us hope in the healing of our grief. Enable us to be brave in our remembering and honest in our sorrow. Celebrate the lives of our loved ones and the gifts that they gave us as we move into the festive season. May nature's beauty inspire us. May the freshness of the air renew us. May the beauty of the stars guide us. May warmth of the winter sun melt away any fears. And if a sense of loss visits you, may a path of iridescent moonlight shine to bring you safely home. Thank you. So, as you may have guessed from all the snowflakey lights, the theme for this year's service is snowflakes. So I'd like to share some reflections on these beautiful phenomena. Snowflakes have some similarities to our own lives. Apparently, each one falls to earth at exactly the same rate of, and excuse me being nerdy here, but 3.1 miles per hour. Yet each one is spellbindingly individual because the effect of various weather conditions affect the individuality of the snowflake, which I thought was rather lovely. It's just like us. We all arrive in pretty much the same way, yet all of us have a unique fingerprint and a unique life journey which shapes us. Their uniqueness, like ours, celebrates diversity. We might all remember how it is to catch a snowflake on the palm of our hand for a fleeting moment and to experience its mesmerising intricacy. A unique masterpiece of nature, never repeated, and notice how it melts away in an instant. They remind us of our own frailty, don't they? They remind us of our own impermanence. Like snowflakes, again, we humans are each remarkable, unique, irreplaceable. You can't duplicate us. We're little works of art. We're astonishing in our ability to transform, and we're very unique in our complexity. Like snowflakes, our time in this particular form, the physical form, is transient. When we picture a snowflake on the palm of our hand, and we might see the impermanence with some sadness, yet we accept it because we already know that a snowflake is beautiful and temporary. And it's much, much harder to accept our own impermanence or that of those we love. From the moment of our birth, it's destined that one day we will leave our bodies, like the snowflake melting into the next chapter of our afterlife, whatever that may be, according to your beliefs. The snowflake can remind us that our loved one's unique physical presence may be with us no more, but that doesn't have to mean that their memory, their spirit is gone. Our love for them certainly remains. And we all kind of naively tend to hope that we can circumnavigate our emotional pain, but we cannot. Heartache is part of how we mature and how we spiritually evolve. Like snow, it is a great leveller, falling on each of us indiscriminately, whether we want it to or not. What we do have, which helps us, is a wealth of memories. Memories of our loved one. Endless memories. So let's collectively remember and celebrate those unique individuals who are no longer with us. Let's light up their lives. I'm pleased to introduce our first speaker, which is Amal Malik. Come to the front, Amal. Well done. Amal's mother, Asiya Malik, was looked after on the ward, just like every patient. Asiya was extremely well loved, and she was a wonderful poetess and incredibly inspirational as a devout Muslim. And this is a book of Asiya's poetry which we produce.
A nurse is not just a nurse who nurses you. She opens her heart to give you strength, and her motivation is endless. The beautiful white sheets on your bed are changed every day. The endless bubbles that drop from the bath give their beautiful essence. And finally, you're just about to fall in love with her. It's time for discharge. If it weren't for these nurses, we wouldn't be here right now. I myself dedicate this poem to Tracy. May your life be filled with endless happy surprises. I just wanted to take a moment to share how incredible Saint Francis Hospice was for my mum. The nurses there were absolutely amazing. They treated her with so much kindness and made her feel really happy. Whenever she went to the hospice garden, she would pray for everyone, and it brought her so much peace. She had such a great sense of humour that she would always make the nurses laugh, and they would make her laugh too. It was such a beautiful connection. My mum used to write poems which Saint Francis actually published to help her make the patients feel more at ease. It was such a beautiful way for her to share her creativity and bring comfort to others. The hospice truly went above and beyond to create a nurturing and supportive environment. Saint Francis took incredible care of my mum until the very end, ensuring her comfort and well-being. Their support and love were present during the final moments before she returned back to her Lord. We are forever grateful for their unwavering dedication. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Saint Francis Hospice for taking such good care of my mum and creating such a positive and loving environment. We will always cherish those memories. Thank you.
Well done. She would be so proud of you. It takes courage to stand up and speak from the heart, and I think you've really honoured your mother by doing that. Well done. Much love to you.
Thank you, Paula. Hello, everyone. So I'm here. My name is Anna Khan, and I'm here to honour my mother, Hamida Alim, who passed at this hospice on 22nd August after a very, very quick illness. And she was diagnosed only in July with pancreatic cancer. And we were told we'd have 6 months with her, which was bad enough. Luckily, we were all living near her, so we were able to spend every minute as much as our work allowed or lives allowed to be with her. So that was a blessing in itself. But after King George Hospital gave her the opportunity to have her spend her last days at Saint Francis Hospice, where she was accepted, our life dramatically changed for the better. Because up till then, it had been acceptance. As Muslims, we believe there's a phrase we say, which is from God we come and to God we return. So there is a huge comfort in knowing you've come from God's love and grace, as Paula explained. He's the ultimate energy, the universe, whatever he or she is. There's no gender, there's no sect or race that owns God. So from that beautiful bounty came this place, I think, because we were just thrown into it without any kind of planning. We couldn't believe the feeling we got as soon as we drove through these doors, these gates. We just felt an ultimate peace. I don't know if any of you felt that. As soon as you walked in, it just embraced you like a hug. And it was like I could feel my gut unclench, and I just felt it was going to be fine. And that's extraordinary. When you're going through such agony, you're going to lose a mother who's been everything to you, and this place is going to look after her. So when we walked in and the way everyone greeted us, I actually felt love. Sounds like a big word, but I think the whole ethos is built on love. You can see the leadership must be incredible. Whoever they are, I want to thank them, because the way they lead their teams, from everybody, from the cleaners, from the people who change the beds, to the nurses, and it was so efficient. There was never anything to worry about. I've travelled all over the world as a lawyer and seen a lot of organisations, and believe me, this place gets it right. You don't have to worry about anything. They anticipate what you might need. So that was extraordinary. And then to have a room where you could look at a garden, and you could look out at, again, God's nature, at what Paula, you said, the trees, the flowers, the grass, the enormous comfort they give us in our daily lives, but to have that to look at while your mother is having her last days. Thankfully, she didn't suffer at all. She was 88 when she went, so she'd had a wonderful life, and we just felt full of gratitude that as a doctor she was able to serve all of humanity in the way she wanted. So she had a life of service. She brought up 3 children who had complete faith that she'd return to her Lord and be forgiven any sins, because big or small, we do hurt people or upset people as we go along. We can call that a sin or a misdeed, but we want to be forgiven all that and be accepted with love after we pass, and we felt that. Paula, you were there. Thank you very much for being there. You asked permission. You said, we're not Muslim, but I want to be there with you. Would that be okay? And we said yes. With love, we welcomed you into our room, and you've said something which is enormously comforting, which maybe all of you might find comforting to hear. When you were saying those words, you said that you felt a presence come into the room, who was not like a fluffy, angelic presence, like with angels' wings, but a very strong presence that took charge. That took charge of the whole transition, and that we could trust to look after Mum. And we all felt that. Now we call that an angel, that energy, but it's a form of energy, and they're in charge, and they'll take them to a better place. Believe me, they're in a better place than we are. And I just want you all to take comfort from that. I want to say from the bottom of our hearts, from her children, you just made all the difference. If there's 3 things I can say to people to take away: please volunteer whatever you can, give back in whatever way you can to this hospice or any hospice near you. Shop in their shops, because they're amazing shops, and the way they greet you and look after you is incredible. And donate whatever you can, your time, your money, your old clothes, Mum's old things. Such a comfort packing them knowing they're going to the hospice. So those 3 takeaways, please take away with you, and I hope your journey on this to manage your grief is comfortable and you can start bearing the pain with some patience. Thank you. Thanks, Paula.
So after listening to those speakers, it's time for some candlelit reflection together. May our thoughts turn to those we love who are no longer with us, and how grateful we are that through knowing them, they lit up an everlasting flame within our hearts. Reflection can be an opportunity to feel gratitude and to realise that what you grieve for has also been that which brought you joy. Renata Suzuki wrote, "Your memory feels like home to me, So whenever my mind wanders, it always finds its way back to you. And as we remember our loved ones, let's consider what they might wish to say to us if we could hear them. Perhaps they would like it if you could take the love you have for them and radiate it outwards, allowing it to touch and impact others in a positive way. Perhaps they'd like you to take the memories you have of them and use these as a source of inspiration to live fully and meaningfully, empowering you to become more than you ever thought that you could be. For you to take the mental image that you have of them and let it help you make the most of each day. Surely they'd like you to take the care that you have for them and let it remind you to care for yourself fully and to shower yourself in your own love. Maybe even they would ask you to take the pain and the grief that you feel following their loss and alchemize that somehow into love and compassion. Mostly, I think they'd want you to know that they will always remain beside you, watching over you in spirit, if you like, with you through the storms and the chaos of life, walking with you, laughing and crying with you. They might say that until one day you're reunited, they're proud of you for being strong, for being brave, and for being you. I think that's perhaps what the sort of words that they might say if they could. So on your order of services there's a poem which was adapted specially for today. I shall read this and then we'll have a minute's silence. And during that time we can reflect on our memories of our loved ones. And after that minute, our lovely James over there will sing for us, and I'll light the remembrance candle and I'll carry it to the tree. So after that minute of silence, I'll encourage you also to bring your lights and place them under the tree of remembrance if you'd like to do so. And we'll do this in silence, cherishing their memories. So the poem is simply called A Poem of Comfort. I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight, the soft snowflake, radiant and white. And now let's be silent for a minute as we remember them.
Stars shine bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream of me. Say nighty night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you miss me, while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me.
As I look at the beautiful candles under the tree, it inspires me to think of your loved ones and to imagine that if every single person who has loved them were to light a candle, it would create the most glitteringly beautiful network you could imagine. And if every person whose life was touched by them also lit a candle, what a sparkling, bright and endless web that would create. What a thing to imagine. It would be endless, wouldn't it? The way that your loved ones have touched people's lives. May the incandescence of the lights remind us of the everlasting light of love for our loved ones in spirit. May they also symbolise that however we feel, a spark of light will illuminate our way through, and soon enough winter will start to turn into spring. So it's time to invite the lovely Emily Taylor to share some encouraging reflections of her own with us. Emily.
Hi, good evening everyone. It's wonderful to be part of this event. My name's Emily Taylor. My husband Mark Taylor was cared for by the hospice. I'd like to share a few words about his care and also talk about my own grief since he passed almost 2 years ago. Hopefully some aspects of my journey will help you in yours. I'm not usually keen on public speaking, but it's important to me to share our story for a couple of reasons. Mark passionately wanted us to spread awareness of how the hospice is a place of support and joy and not a place to dread going to. Nearly 2 years into learning to live without Mark in our lives, we have found things do get easier over time, so I hope that my story will inspire hope in the hearts of those of you who are grieving. Our lovely Mark, husband, father and friend, was a larger than life figure, built like a Viking and was used to being physically very strong. Yet Mark was terrified at the thought of being admitted to the hospice in December 2021. Mark needed expert pain management, yet still preferred to be at home. When we first came into contact with the hospice, one of the hospice nurses visited him at home and sat chatting with him, putting him at ease. Christmas arrived that year and we were just managing, but on Boxing Day we ran out of medication for his pain, so I called the hospice in a bit of a panic. Within an hour, they'd arranged for a prescription to be available at a local pharmacist. They were truly amazing and we just felt such immense relief. After Christmas, on 15th of January last year, Mark came in for a stay at the hospice. As soon as he came through the doors, everyone was so kind. It was as though a weight had been lifted. The staff helped us to feel so relaxed and safe. They took over Mark's care, including administering medication, which was a huge relief. I could just be his wife again. After around a week, another patient, Rob Cooley, moved into a bed in the bay, and the two of them became the best of friends, up into the early hours, chatting and laughing as though they were in their own homes. The hospice helped to keep life as normal as possible, even supporting Mark to get out to the pub to see visitors on a couple of occasions. Mark would talk and joke with housekeepers and nurses, singing and being silly. And when our very lovely chaplain here, Paula, visited them, Mark and Rob would joke and call her Charlie Chaplin. Rob's lovely family are here as well. Mark found strength in his spiritualist beliefs, which were supported during his stay. We found it to be a place where we could just be ourselves. In the time since Mark's passed over, we have grieved. I understand that everyone's grief journey is individual, but I'd like to share a little about mine. I couldn't stand here and say that it's been easy, but almost 2 years in, I can say that for me it has got easier. Grief would hit me at random times and often when I least expect it. It was completely overwhelming. However, these days, those moments are fewer. Initially, I wondered if it would ever get better. People would say that time heals their pain, but I'd find hearing that incredibly irritating. Now I realise that time really does begin to ease the grief, purely because it has lessened the frequency of those difficult moments. I'm able to now enjoy things. I realise that I will always grieve for Mark, but I can now see how to also enjoy my life. Mark's word was acceptance. He became able to accept his story and encouraged us to accept it too. We believe that a person's spirit continues into the next life, and we enjoy feeling Mark's Viking-like presence around us. He would want us to have as many happy moments as possible, so we carry on and continue to have as many adventures as we can, doing it for him also, and I'm sure your loved ones would wish that for you too. There's a poem that I feel sums up how I feel perfectly, so I'll read it to you if that's okay. It's called The Without You by Donna Ashworth. After all the first without you, which came in like wrecking balls, I exhausted my memories of our last two, and felt as though a new grief had appeared. No more of these milestones left, so what now? I thought the now must be without you, until I felt your smile, felt it warm my skin as your song played out on the radio. And then that proud moment, the one I thought I'd never see, you were there at my shoulder, I knew it. When hard decisions arise, somehow your advice appears as though you planted it inside me before you left. So here I am, greeting the robins you send me, counting the feathers you drop and the rainbows you draw, realising there's a new chapter of us. We are not done, it's different, but it is something, and until we meet again, I will make it enough. So let's be grateful to the wonderful hospice and remember our loved ones with a smile. Thank you.
And our last, but certainly not least, speaker of this evening is Karen. If you want to come up and introduce yourself, Karen.
I'm Karen, I'm one of the nurses on the unit, I'm the sister. Just welcome to everyone that's here today. It's my absolute pleasure to be part of Light Up a Life this year. I consider it an honour to be able to join you all here. This year's Light Up a Life theme is snowflakes, which I truly feel demonstrates what the appeal has always been about. Besides being beautiful, each snowflake is also unique. No two snowflakes can ever be the same, and as they fall from the sky, they take their own individual journey on Earth. Here at Saint Francis, we understand that our grief journeys are as unique and special to us as the snowflakes that we see falling from the sky. No two grief journeys can be the same either, so they should be treated as unique as they are. As a nurse working here at the hospice for over 27 years, the same thing that makes snowflakes special is what makes my job so special. No two patients are the same. Each patient is an individual with their own personal life stories, as well as their family and friends that are so special to them. I know I speak for my wonderful colleagues as well when I say I take so much pride in our work here at Saint Francis Hospice. We care for your loved ones as if they were our own family. Most importantly, we care for your loved ones as the individuals they are. We have and always will take great joy in getting to know them as a person. Here we strive to continuously meet the needs of each individual as best as we possibly can, so that the service we provide feels personal to the ones we are caring for. Our work ethos is the reason I love being a nurse here at Saint Francis. From my first year working here back in 1996, I immediately saw the dedication of the team working together to support patients and their families at the most difficult time in their lives. It was during this time I learned the value of making all my patients feel like the important individual that they were. I'm so proud to work as part of a team that shares these values and aims to provide this quality of care every single day. Lighting a candle in memory of a loved one is something that is shared between so many different faiths and has great meaning for people of all backgrounds. By taking part in the hospice service today, you are truly lighting up the life of your loved one, making their memory shine bright, while also sharing that love by supporting the work the hospice does. We could not do our work, the work we are so passionate about, without your amazing support. So thank you. Thank you to each and every one that has donated as part of this year's Light Up a Life appeal. The appeal is going so strong, and I'm happy to say we've raised over £35,000, which is amazing. If you haven't already, there's still opportunity to donate today. We have contactless devices to simply tap your card to donate £5, and we have collection boxes for cash donations. Additionally, on the order of service, there's a QR code linking to our Light Up a Life appeal page where you can donate. All money spent here today also goes towards the Light Up a Life appeal, enabling us to give great care to all those who need it. Thank you so much.
So, as we near the end of our service today, I hope that you've really enjoyed it, but I'm sure you're all a bit chilly and sort of looking forward to getting back into the warm really, but let's just share some more words of encouragement. After listening to these really moving words and reflecting on memories, You might well be experiencing quite mixed emotions right now. Perhaps grief, perhaps all kinds of things. Grief, as you know, can be so visceral, and we can feel as if we're drowning. But we might begin to take the first steps out of grief by deciding that we don't want to be completely submerged in it any longer. We might feel that it's time to rise upwards towards the surface and to let ourselves breathe again. And in that breathing, grief cannot do anything but transform into something else, as it was always meant to do, like the snowflake. Grief is a wave or a season. It is not a permanent state. A waveform or a season will always change, however slowly, into something else. Perhaps into compassion for ourselves or others. Grief's humiliations make us naturally humble, and they ask us to put aside pretense. It tells us that we like to belong, and it nudges us to seek for connection. It can be an introduction to real friendship. It tests those friendships which we think we already have, but surprises us with new friends who come to our aid. Remember that grief is just love in a heavy coat. Something that I bet Amal wishes she was wearing right now. A very warm, heavy coat. When someone we love is no longer with us, we stand at a portal. We have no choice but to pass through into some form of grief. But maybe if we soften, like ice melting, into some acceptance of this, then maybe we have a much better chance of sustaining our own life as a light in the world. And that's, I think, what our loved ones would wish. Grief works on the soul over time, changing our capacity to hold joy again, and alchemise us into more compassionate people, more empathic towards others perhaps, maybe understanding others who've suffered. And maybe, if we're lucky, we can become more aware of the astonishing miracle of our own precious and unique life. I'm sure that that's what our loved ones would want. So as we're at the end of our service today, thinking of our loved ones, when someone has enriched your life, their melody lingers on in your heart. It means that their memory becomes endless. It's said that when you turn your grief into remembrance, that you're illuminating the life of your loved one. So I encourage you to light up the lives of your loved ones. Try to live your lives with the love that they've instilled in you. Be a light in the world as they would wish. So thank you, everybody, for joining each other and us at the hospice here this evening. We hope that it gave you some comfort and encouragement, and thank you for the people who so bravely spoke about their loved ones and about their role here, and also for the wonderful musicians, singers, the staff and the volunteers who all gave their time. May you have, all of you, a really safe and warm homeward journey to wherever it is you're heading to. And just be gentle with yourselves after today. Do something like a hot bath, I should think would be a popular choice after this. And be gentle with yourselves and look after each other through the festive season. So now to James, who will gift us some more music as we make our way from the garden. Thank you, everybody. God bless and good night.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as a northern day, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star above the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas,